Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live today. Thank you all for joining us. We'll start in a minute. We're just waiting for some more people to join. First thing Monday morning for some of you. So we know that it takes time to get into things on Mondays. And we're so glad to be able to bring you this amazing session at the start of your week. So we're looking forward to it. And we're very excited about today's session. So thank you everyone for joining us. If you're here in our audience, please let us know where you're tuning in from. We love to hear where everyone is joining us from. We see Kevin from Alabama, Joanne from Canada. So thank you all for joining us. And we hope to get more viewers in the audience as they trickle in here as our live starts. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hi, Kathy from Ohio, US. We're so glad to see you in our audience today. Let us know if this is the first Facebook Live that MyHeritage has done that you're joining us for, or perhaps you've come to every single one of our Facebook Lives that we've done on our channel. Today is a really special day, actually, because today we'll be doing our 150th Facebook Live on our English Facebook channel, on the MyHeritage English Facebook page. We've been doing Facebook Lives for the past year and a half, bringing you content in genealogy, family history, DNA, and everything in between. And today is our 150th session, so it's really a great milestone for all of us here at MyHeritage. And we love bringing you these sessions, and we hope to bring you many, many more of them. So make sure to stay tuned to all of our Facebook Lives. As always, we love to hear your suggestions for further sessions, or tell us what you've loved, what's worked well, what you'd love to learn more about. We really would like to hear about that, and we'll see what we can do to bring more Facebook Live sessions about the content that you care about. So let us know. We have an amazing session for you today about engaging your family during the holidays using MyHeritage. And before we get to it, I'll just let you know that we've already begun our early Black Friday deal here at MyHeritage on MyHeritage DNA kits. So the sales are already on. We know that a lot of people are starting early this year. You know, get all your ducks in a row and make sure that you have presents for everyone in your family, all your family friends, everyone on your list. So you can take advantage of the early Black Friday deal that we have going on already at MyHeritage. We'll put a link to that in our comment section. Make sure to check that out. Before we get to today's session, I'll just let you know that in honor of our 150th Facebook Live, we'll be giving away two prizes today. We'll give away a MyHeritage Complete Plan and a MyHeritage DNA kit. So two different giveaways at the end of today's session to two lucky winners. And to enter, all that you have to do is tell us how you're preparing your MyHeritage family tree or family site for the holidays, whether it be, preparing charts that you can print out and bring to your family members, or work hard on your family tree to add different people before you're able to sit down with your family members over the holidays. We want to hear how you're preparing your family history for this exciting time of year. So let us know in the comments today, and we'll be giving away two giveaways. So one MyHeritage DNA kit, and if you've already taken one, you can give it to a friend, a family member, and of course one MyHeritage Complete Plan. So the Complete Plan at MyHeritage is the best plan we have to offer. It'll give you unlimited access to over 15 billion historical records and counting, unlimited access to all the MyHeritage photo tools, and unlimited family tree size, and much, much more. The best plan. So we're so excited to be able to give those away today to two different lucky winners. So make sure to leave a comment in the comment section. In addition, feel free throughout to leave a comment, a question. We love hearing from you. We love the Facebook Lives. What makes them so special is the fact that they're really interactive, and we get to hear from our audience. So make sure to comment and let us know what you're thinking throughout. We'd love to hear from you. So now I'd like to introduce our guest for today. We're so honored to have with us Lisa Alzo. She is a returning guest for us at these Facebook Lives. She's a freelance writer, instructor, an internationally recognized lecturer, and she specializes in Eastern European research and writing your family history. She's also the author of 11 books and hundreds of magazine articles. She works as an online educator and writing coach through her website, Research Write Connect, which we'll put a link to in the comments section, by the way. And she also developed the Eastern European Research Certificate Program for the National Institute for Genealogical Studies. She's presented over 50 webinars for Legacy Family Tree webinars and a few Facebook Lives, as I mentioned earlier. So definitely feel free to check out her previous Facebook Lives on the MyHeritage Facebook page under the videos section. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Lisa onto the screen to say hello to everyone. Hello, Lisa.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here again in 150th. Wow. That's amazing.
Quite a milestone,
great milestone,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting for us because especially since, I remember the very first one we did, when the pandemic just started and it was just new to us, but so exciting to go live and to interact with our viewers like this. So we're just so happy that it's come so far.
Well, it's fantastic milestone. They're great library of videos, really.
Amazing. Thank you.
So are we ready to start? If you want to share my slides?
Sure. Let me bring them into the screen and you can let everyone know what you'll be talking about. Here, let's get them up here.
Okay. Then I'll go full screen, make sure you can see them.
Okay, yeah, perfect. We can see it just great.
Awesome. Well, hi, everyone. Again, I'm Lisa Alzo, and I'm happy to be here for this Facebook Live on how to engage your family during the holidays using MyHeritage. And so I just can't believe that we're at the holiday season already. I don't know about any of you, but I really don't know where 2021 went. It just zoomed by so fast. For me personally, it just seemed like I was in Pittsburgh in July with my family celebrating our family reunion. And now we're already talking about the holiday season. So, whether, you're going to be able to see your family this year, or maybe you're still doing things virtually. Some of you may be seeing your family for the first time in 18 months for a holiday celebration, and others, may have done it, last year, but maybe going again, or some of you may just be doing it virtually via Zoom again. But I think that this year the holiday reunions will be more meaningful than ever. And so what I put together here is just some tips on how I feel that I'd like to engage my family, both near and far, during this holiday season. So, whether you're gathering for U.S. Thanksgiving, which is coming up so soon, or Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever family holidays you celebrate, I think there's a way to engage all members of your family, all ages, in family history and just being together. And so I want to just kind of show you some tips for using MyHeritage, the trees, family trees, records, photo tools, and more, on just some ideas that can help engage everybody. And so I don't know if any of you out there have family members that kind of look like this when you try to talk about genealogy or family history. I know in my own family, most of them are pretty interested. I don't know that they're all engaged. Sometimes when I do go to the family reunions and we have the family tree out, sometimes they'll take a look. Sometimes they'll just sit there and kind of like, oh, that's nice, and walk away, or they don't really understand the whole genealogy chart and who's who. And so sometimes, especially the younger generation, you can find are kind of bored when you start talking about genealogy in its purest sense. We as genealogists get all excited about it, but not all of our family members are as engaged as we are. And so, I think it's really important to, just try to bring people to understand why you're doing this, and what inspires you to research your family history, to explore your roots. And so MyHeritage, just has so many wonderful tools. And so I recommend that before you begin, you can always go to the MyHeritage help page. The knowledge base is fantastic with all the instructional articles and how to do things. And also, there's the Ask the Expert series with Daniel Horowitz, and there's just so many videos out there that you can watch to understand how to do things with the DNA features, family trees, the photo tools, etc. So we're not going to spend much time today on the how-to because these resources are right there at your fingertips. So under the help, when you log into your account, just go under the help section and you'll find the links to all of these wonderful help facets of MyHeritage. But so the first thing you can do, really what you should be doing right now in preparation is, if you don't have a tree on MyHeritage, upload one. You can certainly get a free account, but I know that there are a lot of sales going on for the holidays to get the premium memberships and so forth. So keep an eye out for those. But you just want to, get a basic family tree online. As much as start with that, and then, you can always add to it as you learn more information. But once you have that family tree, you can share it with others, and you can print it, and you can do other things with it. And, one of the things I found that having my tree on MyHeritage is, not only do I get the smart matches, the record matches, but I can connect with people that I didn't even know before. And one of my previous Facebook Lives that I did back in March earlier this year with my cousin Renata, we did a joint Facebook Live talking about how we found our great-grandmother, Borbala Manovsky. And one of the things we did is we discovered new cousins by having this MyHeritage tree, and we discovered a woman that was related to us, and we were able to really piece together all the connections, back to our great grandmother. So we were able to find so many cousins, and I think this is a really great thing. And being of Eastern European descent, being Slovak, I find that I get a lot more hits on MyHeritage than I do on some of the other sites. So I think it's great to have that family tree there, and you just never know who you may discover. And that would be a wonderful Christmas present, to discover new cousins, or a holiday present, and to discover new cousins. So, you want to share your family tree. You can also, print family tree and books through MyHeritage. So under the family tree tab, just pull that down and you'll see print charts and books. And you can go and create different types of charts, fan charts, and these just different ancestor charts. Some of them are very nice, and then you can actually order print copies of them, or you can download them to your own computer and print out copies of them for your family as well. So that's a good way. You can take copies, or you can just, if you're taking your computer with you on the holidays, you can even just pull it up on your screen. But printing these books, family trees, they make good gifts. You better start early. As we know, they're advising us to all start early with our holiday presents. And so you may want to check that out as a first step for your sharing your family history. Also, giving the gift of DNA. And so as Esther mentioned at the beginning of this session, there's sales going on with the DNA kits. And so you can buy presents for your family. You can take some to your gatherings, and maybe people that are on the fence about doing a DNA test, maybe you can show them all the tools and all the ethnicity estimates and all the interesting things on MyHeritage, and maybe you'll get them interested in actually taking one. I know I have some reluctant family members in my family. They just don't feel comfortable sharing their DNA for whatever reason. It's a personal decision, of course, and nobody should be forced to do this. But I think if you show what you can do with it and what your purpose is for using the DNA testing, maybe you can convince your family members to take a test and then get all these connections and learn a lot about your ethnicity, your heritage, through the DNA. So again, check out all the sales, and then go ahead and check out all the new tools that are on there. And I know there are many Ask the Expert series, and there's many great MyHeritage Facebook Lives and webinars on legacy about the DNA testing. So I'm not going to go into details on that, but I've taken in MyHeritage DNA test. I have my uncle's results in there, my dad's results. He's passed away. He passed away in 2005, but I have family members in there as well. So, and I've been doing, getting a lot of matches. And so that's been exciting to explore that. Another thing you can do, so if you're gathering for a party or family meal, maybe create some conversation place cards. And you can do these very cheaply, very easily. You can find templates online with your word processing software. I use a software called canva.com. It's free. There's a free version. And you can find these little place cards, and you can design them and print them out, and then add a question. So, we're with our relatives, and especially if we're, with relatives we haven't seen in a while, or if it's the older generation, you want to ask them questions and, ask them open-end questions so that they can talk and describe. So what was your childhood like? Describe your childhood home. This is a great conversation starter. And this is something that can be easily done, very informally around the table. And, you might want to have a notepad and write down the answers, or if your family permits it, you can even record the stories that are shared or the answers that are shared. But one of the things you can do is go to MyHeritage, and under the knowledge base, you'll see a little section up in the corner, downloadable resources. And when you click on that, you'll see a lot of interesting things that you can download. Printable family tree for kids, some activity pages for children, and then the one in the middle there, questions for relatives. That's a PDF that you can download, and it's a list of good questions that you can print and bring along the next time that you're with your family. And so you can download that, and some of these questions are really fun. You can, do you share a name with someone else in the family? Did you ever meet your great-grandparents? What do you remember about any deaths in the family? Who was the oldest relative you remember from when you were a child? And there's 5 pages of this PDF. And so you can take some of these questions and just put them on those little place cards, and then, have them there for your family gathering. And I think that that's a really great way to do that. You can also do these via Zoom. You can send the PDF to your family members and then set up a family Zoom session and answer these questions. So, there's a lot of flexibility with this, but that's a really great resource that MyHeritage has there in the knowledge base. And then on that same vein, as you're sharing stories, as I mentioned, if you're able to record the people giving their responses, this is a benefit if you have your tree set up on MyHeritage. If you use the MyHeritage app, it's really easy on your smartphone. You just click on your tree, and then you go to the person, and if you have the person in your tree, you can just click. There's an add audio button on that person. And you can, access your microphone on your smartphone, and then record an interview, or record them telling a story, and then it'll save it right there on your family tree. And so it'll be attached to that person on the family tree. And so that's a really good thing to do. I've even done this just, for my deceased relatives. I've gone in on theirs and I've just recorded some notes about them or who they are, something I remember or an interesting fact I've uncovered with my genealogy research. So there's a lot of things you can do. And a lot of this is great because you can use the MyHeritage app, which means you don't even have to have your laptop with you. You can just use the MyHeritage app to do this. And so, I encourage you to download that and give it a try. But that's a great way to, record, share stories, and then you'll have that in your account. Photographs. Who doesn't love family photographs? And there's nothing better to, get the memories flowing and the conversations going than family photographs. And so this is a picture of my great-grandparents, Jan Alzo and Borbala Manofsky. And my grandfather's brother is the young boy sitting next to the woman in black. And my grandfather's sister is on the right-hand side, and she's holding her child, and that's her family there. And this is one of my most treasured photographs. And it was a black and white, old faded photograph that I used the MyHeritage Colorization tools to bring out the color. And, I can really see their faces, and it really just adds something to this family photograph. One of the other things that I like about MyHeritage is the photo repair tool. And I've been spending a lot of time in the last couple of months cleaning out, things and looking through old family photographs. And I had this really, really damaged photograph of my great-grandmother, and it's a small snapshot. But what I did is I used the MyHeritage app. I took a photo with it, and then right in that app, I just used the repair tool, and it did actually take out the crease. It repaired it, and I think it looks pretty good. I mean, for as bad a condition as it was in, I believe that the MyHeritage tool really did a nice job on this. And so then you can also use the microphone, and then I just recorded, this is my great-grandmother, Maria Verbowski Straka, and then I put, who I am and the date that I scanned the photo. And then I, was able to tag her and so forth with, in the tree. And so this is really a great thing to do. And it's really nice to be able to do it right from the app, because I don't have to worry about my big scanner or anything like that. I can just scan these photographs really quickly, hit the repair tool, and then, it does some repairs. I also, enhanced it and colorized it. And again, you can see, I mean, it's not a perfect fix. If I wanted a complete perfect fix, I'd probably have to hire a professional person to restore this photo, but at least it takes the crease out and it gives me more of a face. And so, I colorized it using the tools on MyHeritage. And again, all this can even be done right through the app, so really easy to do. And I've done some of my other favorite family photographs. My grandparents, this is my paternal grandparents, their wedding photograph. And then I also did my maternal grandparents, their wedding photograph. And so, been able to do a lot of these with the MyHeritage tools. And I know that, some people are on the fence about, should you color old photographs? Should you do, make changes? And it's a personal decision. And I feel that it's a tool, and anything that helps me understand my ancestors better or helps me to see them in a different way, I'm all for. Now, there's no mistake, and you always want to let people know that you've used, the MyHeritage tools to colorize this photo, that this, may not be a complete 100% accurate representation of what the colors were in the image. Their technology is fantastic, but you always, you want to be honest, just as we cite our sources, you want to make sure that you're leaving that data for future generations, that this photo has been colorized, it has been enhanced. But I think any tool that can help us connect with our ancestors a little bit better, in my personal opinion, is not a bad tool. But again, everybody has their own personal thoughts, and you need to handle your own genealogy and your own photos as you best feel comfortable. But I love doing this. I love seeing my ancestors in color. There's a close-up of my grandmother from that wedding photo. So when I use the colorization tools and in the enhance, it pulls out the faces, and I was able to then animate this face using the deep nostalgia tool. And I have to say, I was absolutely stunned when I saw the results, and I'm going to try to play it for you, and hopefully it will play. But just to see my grandmother as a young woman, a living, breathing, young woman, not just somebody in a still black and white photograph. And I knew my maternal grandmother. She was the only grandparent that lived when I was an adult. I knew her, and I never, imagined her in this way. I never asked her any questions about her life, her immigration, her marriage story. She had an arranged marriage. Her brother-in-law worked with my grandfather. He came first, and they worked together in the coal mines in Ohio. And my grandfather, wanted a Slovak woman who was really literally just coming over from Slovakia. And they were set up in marriage by my grandmother's sister and her husband. And so, I always have been fascinated by my grandmother's wedding photograph and the whole story behind their wedding. And I went to the church where they were married. I met a man who actually attended their wedding in Ohio. And I wrote about this in my book, 3 Slovak Women. But to see my grandmother animated like this in this wedding photo, and, I've even been playing with the idea of taking some an old Slovak, or Slovak and Carpatho-Rusin bridal dance song, and actually downloading the animated images. And one of the things you can do with MyHeritage is make the person dance. One of the effects is dance, and I'm working on a video to put the music in with the animation, and just see how that turns out. But that would be something interesting for me, just to kind of imagine what their wedding would have been like. And so, knowing that, my grandparents were young and had a life before I knew them as my grandparents, this has just been very meaningful for me. And when I showed this to my aunts, I actually showed this video to my 3 living aunts over Zoom, and they were just absolutely blown away when they saw that video. So, these are just some things you can do to help engage your family. In that same vein, excuse me, let me click over here. In that same vein, you can use the MyHeritage record search. So, there's so many great records that we find on MyHeritage. And one of my favorite things is the passenger list records, the immigration records, and especially, the manifests that are, the 2-page ones like my grandmother's in 1922. They've stitched them together. This one is my grandmother coming over in 1922. And there's a lot of trivia. There's a lot of detail in this passenger list. She was detained at Ellis Island for a few days because they thought she had tuberculosis, but she was released. And there's some information about her numbers of when she applied for naturalization. So, and then it gives, her who she was going to, and it gives details about her closest relative in the old country and so forth. And there's a lot of details in these records. And so take your records and pull out the details and maybe create a family trivia game. that you can play with your family members. And we've been doing this on Zoom for the last year or so with as I said, my 3 living aunts, and I've been getting bits and pieces of information, and then seeing what they can remember from their childhood, and we've been kind of gathering facts about my grandparents, their parents, and it's been a really engaging exercise to do. And so we we put together this trivia, and at our family reunion in the summer, one of my cousins actually downloaded this fun Jeopardy game. It's a PowerPoint template that you can download, and it's you can create your own Jeopardy game. And we did this at our reunion. We divided into 3 teams, and we had all these questions from both previous reunions that we had, and then just facts about our grandparents. And so one of the questions was, one of the steel mills visible from Grandma's house was given this name. And I grew up in Duquesne, Pennsylvania, and the Andrew Carnegie steel mill there, my grandfather worked in. Both of my grandfathers did, actually, but they had this big blast furnace called the Dorothy 6. And so that was a very famous, blast furnace. It is no longer there. The mill has since been torn down, but it's just interesting. You can create these little games and trivia games, fact games from your ancestral facts. So I'm actually doing that now. I'm gathering more information, not so much for the holidays, but for our 55th family reunion coming up in 2022. So I'm actually getting some more trivia questions based on the genealogy research. But this was a really fun activity for a family reunion. There's a free version, and then there's a pay version, and it's the premium version is about $16 US. So it's pretty affordable to do this. Also, family recipes. Holidays scream family recipes and tradition. And so, we, in my family, my Slovak Rusin family, we have a special Christmas Eve supper on Christmas Eve. It's a 12-course supper, meatless, the Vilia supper, and it's a long-standing tradition. And so there are certain foods that are prepared for this. And so one thing you can do is maybe get some index cards or get some recipe cards, or create them and print them out, and have everybody write down a favorite family recipe, and share it, or make the dish to share if you can do that. Try something traditional, something from your heritage. And I think that would be a really great thing to engage people, and kids can get involved in helping to make the meals and so forth. Also, when you do family recipes, make sure you write the story behind it or the tradition behind it, even if you have to do a little research on it. Write something so people know why this dish is so important, or why everybody enjoys this at a certain time of year. And one of the things I got to do this past year that was really exciting for me was I got to participate in a Zoom session with the Heinz History Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where they had somebody there making pierogi, which is pierogies in U.S., but this is a traditional dish that we have at Christmas time on the Christmas Eve supper. And my grandmother, she never used a recipe, but my mother wrote down everything that my grandmother used to make them. And so we do have a family recipe, and I was able to share this family recipe of my grandmother's with the Heinz History Center, and they had families participate in a cooking session where they cooked at home, and they had somebody in the studio at Heinz making this recipe, and I was on telling the traditions behind the meal, the dish, and telling stories about remembering my grandmother and my mother making them. And so this is something you can do: create these recipe cards and engage your family that way with the food. And what I did is I actually used this in an ancestor biography for my grandmother. So on your MyHeritage tree, you can, create these biographies. And so not only can you put the person in there, but you can add a story or add several stories. And so I have a little brief biography of my grandmother. And then I also then created another section where I put her recipe for the pierogi. And so I was able to, preserve that on her family tree entry in MyHeritage. So these are, just a few ideas you can do. You go, as I said, go to the biography section, the profile section in your MyHeritage account, and just start adding the stories. And they don't have to be long stories. You can add several different ones in the, in the profile section. And so this will be something you can preserve and share, with future generations and, with relatives and cousins that you meet. And, I just find that, the stories, behind the names, the dates, the places, the boxes, the charts, the citations. I'm a writer. Anybody who knows me in the genealogy community knows that I'm a writer. And, I've always been a writer first before I was a genealogist, but I love telling ancestor stories and just doing profiles of my ancestors and just sharing those stories. And I just think it's such an important thing because, as I mentioned earlier, not everybody will be engaged by just looking at a family tree. But if you give that person some life, either through their photograph or through a biography or creating a book, people will take notice. And I think that's really important. How do we engage all generations, all ages, and how do we keep things interesting in family history? And that is my goal, is to share stories. And so those are my 10 tips. And my website is lisaalzo.com. So you can go under publications and see some of the things I've done with writing books and stories for my ancestors. I also have a website called Research Write Connect, where I teach writing courses and I do writing coaching. So you can go and check that out. I have a free newsletter you can sign up for as well. But I hope this gives you some ideas of what you can do for the upcoming holidays, or even looking ahead to next year if you're doing a family reunion, or even, if you can't implement all these ideas this year, maybe in a future gathering for the holidays, you can use some of these ideas. So I'm finished now and ready to take some questions.
Thank you, Lisa. And we received so many great comments already in the comment section. I've just been noticing.
That's great.
Yeah, I've just been noticing as they come in. So first of all, I have a question for you, though. Which one is your favorite idea of connecting with your family over the holidays? Your favorite out of all of them?
I think the stories, anything that gets the stories told. So I think the conversation starters are the place to go. So whether you're doing that with a prompt or with a photo, like I said, using those photos to engage family, I think that's my favorite, because I think everybody can find a connection or can relate somehow. You see a cool photo, or there's some question that just kind of stirs somebody's memory, and then the conversation just continues. And so I think that's my favorite.
There were two that stood out to me as something that would work with my family. So I know, first of all of our holidays revolve around big holiday dinners, all the different family members. So I think for us, definitely those place card prompts. What a fantastic idea. I think I'm definitely doing that the next big family dinner we have. I'm not even going to wait for a holiday. And the second one was the Jeopardy game. I love that. I love that idea. Just such great ideas. And I think that's the beauty of this. There were so many great tips and different things that'll work for different families.
And that's you're right. And that's the fun of it. You don't even have to, you don't necessarily have to wait for the holidays. Like you said, with the place cards, you can do it, in other gatherings. You can do it on Zoom. Like I said, we've been doing some of these things because a lot of my family's scattered. And so, we've been trying, especially during the last 18 months, we've been doing weekly family Zooms. And, a lot of times, there's only so much you can, talk about the weather or the sports teams or whatever you do on your family chats. But, you can always get people engaged when you do these, memory snippets.
So true. I just saw so many great comments. Even before we take some questions, I'll just read a few of them. Let's see. Cindy said, "I've really enjoyed all of your live videos. I've been trying to gather family stories to add them to the family tree, and I'd also like to share the information I've collected." So good luck with that, Cindy. Andy said, "I'll be sitting down with various family members over the holiday season, filling in some of the missing gaps in the family tree." And that's always a great time to kind of fill in those missing spots, add new information that you may not have known. Let's see, Dorothy said, "I'm going to be spending Thanksgiving with cousins, and I'm going to hook up my laptop to their TV so I can share what I've done on MyHeritage." Also a fantastic idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, just hook it up and then you can show them. And I think that's, I'm a visual person, and like I said, it's one thing to just, have a family tree, but when you can really show how all the different elements work together, I think in showing it in all the seamlessness of using MyHeritage to make all those elements connect, I think is really great.
Michelle wrote, "We are doing a family Zoom on Thanksgiving, and I think I will prepare a Jeopardy game, so thank you."
Great. Yeah, that was really great. My cousin found that, and once we started doing it, and we had so much fun doing that. It was just such a great bonding exercise last year, our past family reunion this year, because there was a smaller family reunion in 2020, and not many people went, and so this year was the first time that almost everybody attended, and then we were able even to pipe somebody in from Zoom, hook in with Zoom, the ones that couldn't come. And so it was really great.
Wow. And the one you're planning in 2022, that one is going to be even bigger, I guess?
It's going to be bigger. It's actually going to be a whole weekend where we rented out a resort in West Virginia, and we're going to go. And we've been there before, but we're going to have a special dinner, and we're going to have just a lot of other activities. So it's going to be our 55th.
So we'll have to have you on after the reunion, and you'll tell us some of your do's and don'ts for family reunions.
Oh, I'd love to do that. We've been doing it a very long time, and we've had so many incarnations and and just different things that we've done, and we seem to have found a good formula.
Wow. So we'll have to do another session about that. Donna wrote, and she said, "I like your family connect ideas. A few years ago, I shared Aunt Ida's ginger cookies, a recipe with her granddaughter, and she made them with her granddaughters."
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so lovely. I love that, seeing the recipes, and as you said, recipes are such a great great thing to share over the holidays. They really have so much tradition baked into them.
Yes,
so
that's right.
It's such a great time to pass those down, and I love that idea of everyone kind of preparing a dish and bringing that. That's such a nice idea. So now I think we'll give away our plans for the day, or I should say one complete plan and one MyHeritage DNA kit. two gifts, two special giveaways for today. As I said earlier, for anyone who missed the beginning of today's session, we're celebrating our 150th MyHeritage Facebook Live on the MyHeritage Facebook page, our English Facebook page. So we're so thrilled to be able to celebrate that with all of you and with you, Lisa. What a guest to have with us for our 150th Facebook Live on our channel. Great occasion. And so we are going to be doing 2 giveaways, one DNA kit and one MyHeritage Complete Plan to some of our viewers in the audience. We're so thrilled to be able to give these away. And so without further ado, our MyHeritage DNA kit today will go to Shelly Dedio. And Shelly wrote to us and she said, you'll like this, Lisa, it's so sweet. She said, I found information on my 4th great-grandfather through MyHeritage over in Poland. I plan on doing a PowerPoint of photographs, history of the changes in Poland, where the family lived, and a family tree showing where we fit in. I have also collected a few good recipes, which I will be cooking for the event. Yeah,
That's
what a lovely way
fantastic.
to tie it all together, you know, the discoveries that she's made and, you know, having the family all together for the event and cooking the dishes. It's just so lovely. And we love that idea. And we'd love to hear more, Shelly. And we'll be in touch with you through private message to claim your prize, your DNA kit. And now for the MyHeritage Complete Plan, the best plan we have to offer on MyHeritage. So that amazing giveaway for today goes to Sarah McMiller. And Sarah wrote to us and said, I've been mostly working on DNA matches to help build out my tree and to see where my family ended up and stayed. It's been a rough year, but I have a collection of pictures and charts of our cousins and how we are related. I plan to share it. So that's also really so lovely. I think the combination of pictures and history and sharing all that with your family, as you did, Lisa, as you showed us with the deep nostalgia photo of your grandmother, just so lovely. So congratulations, Sarah, as well, and we'll be in touch with you through private message to claim your prize. So Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. And I really hope everybody can try at least one or more of these things during the holidays. I just know that, I miss my family because I'm not living where they are. And so most of my family is either in the Pittsburgh area or in the Ohio area. I have a few other relatives scattered around, but it's just so nice, to have these ways to connect. And I think connection is just the number one thing. Just feeling that connection and sharing the discoveries. And thanks to MyHeritage for all these wonderful tools, because they really will help you put it all together. And I do encourage you, just like I said, go explore that knowledge base, explore those resources. There's a lot of great ideas hidden there that people may not be aware
Thank you
of.
so much. And that's so true. And to all of you in the audience, if you try a few of these things and let us know how they work and how successful you are and what you gain and what you learn about your family over the holidays, we'd love to hear a follow-up of how it all goes for you. Also, feel free to message us on our Facebook page and tell us, update us how it's going and which of these tips was useful and what helped you with your family. So thank you so much, Lisa, and we hope you have a great day. Bye. You too.
Great.